All right, hello. So currently, these are all of the up-to-date renders I've made in Mechabricks of my custom minifigures. So I'm going to explain all of them and what they are and how I made them and everything. So this is Clone Wars Anakin. Now, unlike every other custom you see that you've seen so far that I made, I didn't 100% make this one. Well, here's the thing. I made everything on this except for the arms and the torso because I found the torso and the arms on a decal that someone kindly posted, and but even with that, I actually changed it. I actually changed like that for my model because the original decal, it had so many gaps on colored spots and like zigzagly lines, so I just adjusted all of that to look better on this, and that was extremely tedious to do. But the face, it's like it's actually the pilot face from 2018 Anakin and Mecha Bricks, but I added it so that way he wouldn't have the pilot headgear, and so he would have the 2012 scar because I think that's more accurate. And the legs are actually just 2020 Anakin's legs, but those are obviously Clone Wars Anakin's legs, and Lego kind of cheaped out there. So basically, what I did is that I color corrected them and like changed the spacing to give the addition of dual molded legs. And this has the same face as the previous one, so I'm not going to explain any of that. But this is episode 3 Anakin, and I made everything on this as well because it's the 2020 torso and arms that I use, but I color corrected them to be more accurate to the films and the source material. And if you want, you can also classify this as season 7 Clone Wars Anakin, but really this is generally supposed to be episode 3 Anakin. And about the lower arm printing right here, I didn't make that because I just like copied it from the decal from Clone Wars Anakin, so that's the same thing. But for the legs, these are actually Padawan Anakin's legs, like from like 2013, but I color corrected them to match episode 3 Anakin and also changed the detail to match a more modern looking figure. And this is Sith Anakin, which is overall the same design as what I previously made, but I used the 2020 face, but added the 2012 eyeshadow and, of course, the 2012 scar. Now, it's not shown here, but the other side, while it's still the other face where he's like gritting his teeth and has an angry expression, I included the same details from this one, but I changed his eyes from yellow to black. And this is Charred Anakin. This was extremely tedious to make, and I'm surprised that I was even able to get it done in a single day. So, with that, I actually had reference images fortunately, and the thing that I wanted to avoid was to make it so. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I wanted to avoid making it look exactly like the films because I really hate those Lego customs that try so much to make something look like the source material, because it's like for my customs, if it's not obvious enough already, while I want them to be accurate to the source material, I still want them to look as if they're official, even when they're not. But anyway, so with this, as I said, I had reference images and I just like did a whole bunch of stuff here. And this is one with the blue lightsaber, and this is one with the red lightsaber. The same render overall, though. And the reason why I created two different renders of him with a different color lightsaber is because, for one thing, in the Complete Saga and the Force Awakens Lego games, he had a red lightsaber. But in the Skywalker Saga, he has a blue lightsaber. But it's not even just because of that. It's also because I think it's safe to say that burnt Anakin having, like in Lego form anyway, having a blue and or red lightsaber makes sense because of like circumstances. But I guess you could let me know what your preference is in the comments. And this is just basically just a Darth Vader transformation render that I made. And this also has an alternate head with black eyes. And this is that, but with Vader, and like when it's like the helmet's kind of closing in on his face. And this is episode 3 Darth Vader. At first glimpse, it may not look different from the 2020 figure, but what I did is that not only, well, currently underneath, that's the same head. But so the head underneath is the same head that was in the previous slide, but overall, it may look the same as the 2021, but it's not the same because not only did I change the order of the button, like in the little square box, not only did I change the color of the buttons and add more detail, but I also added the chain around his little upper chest armor. Uh, I also darkened some of the lines and also gave him, while it's not shown here, the arm printing is a little different because whereas in most things, and as the Lego figure follows, it has like the arm printing has like the gray but has the little gaps in it because that's how it is. But in Revenge of the Sith, that wasn't the case. So basically, I just filled that section with gray. And this is Clone Wars Vader. And it may not look too different from episode 3 Vader, but it is because it has different arms, which are the official arms, and a different torso with different colored buttons and switches in the box. And I also gave it red eyes, of course, and also look closely right here. But I think it's obviously seen by now, so I'll go on. And this is Obi-Wan Kenobi Vader. Oh yeah, and also by the way, the face under here is the same one as the Charred Anakin. So that's that. And this is Kenobi Vader. This one doesn't have that custom head yet because I'm actually waiting for Megabricks to add the recent Vader head from the Obi-Wan Kenobi set. So once that gets added, I'll do some customizations to that and go from here. But I don't think I need to update the render though because it's not seen here. But this is actually the same torso as the Clone Wars Vader. Now, the reason why that's the case is because it's like, sure, I made the Kenobi one first, but based on the small glimpse that I saw in the Clone Wars finale, it looked as if his like switches were the same color and style as the Kenobi one, so I just did that. But the thing is, I only noticed back in June that in everything except for episode 3, Clone Wars, and episode 4, the shoulder armor that's like above Vader's arm is black and not gray. That's the case in everything except 3, Clone Wars, and 4. So that's what that's what this one has, the darker. Now here's the thing, I actually darkened it to almost black and not completely black because it's like when I actually did do completely black, it looked boring, and plus I wanted the arm printing to still be shown a little bit. And this is Rogue One Vader, and I think the differences here are obvious, so I'm not going to explain too much here. And this is a New Hope Vader. Now, the torso and the buttons and everything, I made it slightly different from Rogue One because it was different a little bit. And I also included the regular arms, so that's that. And this is episode 5 Vader. Mostly, I didn't really have to do too much for this one because I mostly just reused the same like torso that I used for episode 3. It's just that not only did I change the order of some things, but I of course changed that one specific button from green to blue. And here's episode 6 Vader. Now, I only noticed a few months ago that Vader's armor in episode 6 was slightly different, but it was mainly due to the fact that it's like the little like upper chest armor, it's slightly bigger and longer in episode 6. So what I did is that I used the 2015 torso print because it captures that. But not only did I use the 2015 torso, I mixed it with the 2020 torso and my own customs. So you get this. And this is Clone Wars Obi-Wan. And in a similar fashion to Anakin, I didn't 100% make this. But unlike Anakin, I didn't make anything for this one except for the face. But also like Anakin, I did have to like edit everything that I didn't make because the original decal had so many gaps, uncolored spots, and more. But this one was even more tedious to edit though. And this is Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 3. So in order to have gotten the gray in his hair, I actually had to do some editing because Mechabricks has some limits and things that should be able to be possible aren't possible. So I had to do some editing to get it here. But it wasn't all edited because it's like I was able to get like the gray sideburns from another hairpiece that was the same thing, but still. So it's overall the same face and everything else is the same. It's just that I removed the damage from this and I added dual molded legs, which looks so good if you ask me. And here's episode 4 Obi-Wan. Now, it may not be obvious, but I actually did make a custom face. But the reason why it may not be obvious is because it's like I didn't make it too different. The only real difference I made was just adding an additional like bag around his eye. And I also kept the torso and arms the same, but I recently realized how LEGO kind of nerfed the leg and hip printing from the 2015 one to this one. So basically, what I did is that I copied the 2015 Ben Kenobi leg printing to this one, but removed the brown robe printing and edited it to match with everything else on this one. And I also added uh, short brown boots as well. I didn't make them completely dual molded because his boots weren't completely shown in the film. And there's also a hood piece right here because I didn't really like how Lego just includes like a cape and not a hood piece with it. And this is Clone Wars Mace Windu. Unlike Anakin and Obi-Wan, I didn't have to do any customization here since this Mace Windu figure already exists in real life as of a few months ago. The only thing I really had to do was just make dual molded legs. And this is pretty much the same concept as Obi-Wan, but as opposed to reusing the 2020 Mace Windu torso, I used the 2021 Mace Windu torso, the one that has the dirt on it, since it's more detailed and more accurate, but I just removed the dirt stains, and I included dual molded legs, which I made this one first, and I reused these dual molded legs for this one. And so far, those are all the updates. See you next time.